Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode. In this episode, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about and implementing a UI stack view. And now UI stack view allows you to leverage auto layout, so leverages the power of auto layout, and allows you to set things like the alignment, distribution, and spacing. Now, you can set that with visual layouts or visual constraints, but having a stack view makes it a little easier to set those constraints, and I'll show you exactly what I mean in just a second. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be implementing this right here, and this in the simulator is basically showing that you have a UI button on this side, and UI label. So these are three views within a stack view that is distributed horizontally. So if we go ahead and we rotate this into landscape mode, you'll see that it stays in a relatively even spot. So if you have in portrait mode, it stays towards the sides. These two go buttons stay towards the sides, and the label stays in the middle. And same thing for the landscape mode. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. As you can see here, I went ahead and created a new application for this stack view, and I've gone ahead and I've navigated into that directory and I've opened Sublime. So what we'll do is we'll jump into the app delegate here, and we'll basically just comment out the root view controller and the navigation controller, because we're not going to be implementing a navigation bar within our application. So what I'll do here is I'll just set a main or a root view controller, and this will be a new instance of it. And what we'll do is within our app directory, we'll create a root view controller. And what we'll do is we'll have this root view controller inherit from the UI view controller class. And what we'll do is we'll just save that out for now. So as you can see, again, we went ahead and we commented out the navigation controller, the root view controller. We don't need that navigation bar, and we wanted to create a new class because in this class we're going to be setting our UI views. So we're going to need to define the load view method, and in this we'll set our view to a new UI view. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll set the view background color to a UI color that is a brown color. Okay, that's going to give us that brown color that we had previously. And then what we'll do is set the top layout guide. So self or top guide, and this is going to be used for our visual constraints. So top guide will equal self dot top layout guide. Okay, we'll save that, and then what we'll do is we need to create our views. So we're going to have the two buttons, and we're going to have that one label in the middle. So rather than typing all of this out, I'm just going to paste this code in and explain what's going on here. Okay, so we have a button view, actually two button views. One is for the variable button2, and one is for the variable button. Then we have a label variable that is holding a UI label, and we're setting that title to go for the normal state, and the color for the normal state to black color for the title, and red color for the title for the button 2. Now that we have our view set, we actually need to go ahead and create that stack view. So if we jump back into our documentation, we need to create a new stack view. So we'll do a stack view equals UIStackView.new. Then, if you take a look at some of the properties here, you'll notice that we have to set a couple of things. We've got to set things like the spacing, the axis, the distribution, and the alignment. So what we'll do is we'll jump into our stack view, and we're going to arrange the views first. So if we go arrange, and let me search for that, arrange subviews. And you can actually init with arrange subviews as well if you want to use the allocate.init instead of the .new. So do arranged subviews. And then what you have to do is you have to pass through an array. Actually, since this is a property, you're going to set that property to the array. And so this array is going to have our button, it's going to have the label, and then it's going to have the button too. Okay, and then after we set those views, we're going to set the axis to which those views are on. So we jump back into that documentation and we look for axis. We're going to set the StackView.axis to horizontal. So it's going to be UI layout constraint axis horizontal. So it creates a row. So do a StackView.axis equals, and let's grab that again. Horizontal. Okay, and then what we need to do is we need to set the alignment, distribution, and the spacing. So let's go ahead and just get that going. So we'll go back, do alignment. So we'll get the StackView.alignment and set it to the UIStackView fill. Actually, what are we going to be using here? We're going to be using the, I believe it's leading. So let's look for the leading one. Okay. Right here, UIStackView alignment leading. And this is what this is going to do is it's going to arrange the views along its leading edge. So you can see this line right here. And what we'll do is we'll just set that to UIStackView alignment. And then next up, we'll set the StackView distribution. And that will be distribution, UIStackView distribution, fill distribution, equal spacing. Yeah, let's do that one. So do equal spacing, and then StackView dot spacing. This will be like the minimum spacing right here. Spacing, and we actually probably don't need to set this because of this right here, but we'll set this to 20. It should give us that 20 on the left and 20 on the right margin going on there. So we'll have that spacing there, and then what we'll do is we need to set the StackView auto resizing. If you remember from the auto resizing, translate auto resizing mask. So this is the one that we're looking for. We'll go back into there and we will set this to false. This is just so we can use those visual constraints and auto layout on this view. Then we add the stack view to our view. So we do a view dot add sub view, and the sub view will be the stack view. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to jump into actually setting the visual constraints for this UI view. And so what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste that in and explain what's going on. All right, so these are the visual constraints. We're setting the visual constraints horizontally. This will have the stack view in there. And because we set the spacing up here to 20, we should actually see a margin or padding on both sides here that is about 20. And then below that, we have the vertical constraints, the vertical visual constraints. And this is where that top guide comes in. So we'll have the top guide, and then 20 down from that top guide, we'll have this stack view that contains these sub views. So if we save this out, and then we go back into our terminal, and we run rake, this should start up our simulator, and it should show us those 3 UI views, and they'll all be lined up, as you can see, within our UI stack view. So let's test this out. If we go ahead and we tilt this horizontally, we have our UI stack view distributing that evenly and giving us an even size for each one of these individual views. So that's just a quick overview of the UI stack views. There's so much that you can do with this. If you guys do decide to use a UI stack view, I'd love to hear more about how you've used it in the comments below. Again, thanks so much for watching. You have a great one.